Does becoming a parent mean you have to give up gaming? Let's have a look. Hello and welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. Tonight I'd like to talk about a campaign from the NHS Trust in Walsall. Now, they did a billboard bus campaign where they had posters up, and this is one of them. I saw this on Twitter. Would you give up this for this? Would you give up a PlayStation controller for a baby dummy? Beware the baby trap. Use a condom. Or would you give up high heels and lipstick? For this, a pacifier. I'm sure a lot of people actually would give up these things for kids. But you can still get emergency contraception for up to 5 days, and it's free. It's free. Wow. Pretty good in the UK. Now, there's been backlash over this. This is an article in the Evening Star that I'll read with you. Oh baby, backlash over sexist NHS teen pregnancy ads. An NHS poster campaign warning teenagers against unwanted pregnancies has been branded as sexist and outdated. Walsall Healthcare NHS Trust ran a bus poster highlighting sexual health services available to young people. But the ads, which showed phrases like, would you give up this, next to a pair of high heels, and a red lipstick followed by, for this, next to a pink dummy, has been called misguided. What do you think? What's your natural response to just seeing this? Let me know in the comments, because this encouraged me to actually start doing my Twitch, and I'll tell you about that later. So, parents have criticized the ads, saying it suggests women have to give up lipstick and fancy shoes if they want to have a baby. Well, no, you kind of, after you have a baby, your priorities change. You kind of see maybe these are perhaps less fulfilling or somewhat shallow things to be concerned of when you've got a human completely dependent on you, who loves you unconditionally, who annoys the hell out of you. You know, maybe gaming takes a second seat, or maybe you game with them. Another ad showed the same phrase, but pictures a PlayStation controller next to a blue dummy. Walsall NHS Trust has apologised for causing any concern with the posters. Kirsty Young from Stourbridge spotted the posters while travelling home from work on a National Express bus and said she was gobsmacked. She said it suggests that if you accidentally become pregnant, you have to leave the lipstick and heels behind. I couldn't believe it. It's so irresponsible. Well, see, I don't understand this. Is she saying that it's so irresponsible for someone to accidentally get pregnant? Or is it so irresponsible for them to say that you have to give up things when you have children? Because, you know, that's a little naive to think your life doesn't drastically change when you have kids. In some ways, it certainly does change and should change. It should change. If you have children and your life is exactly the same as it was before you had kids, the government will take your kids off you. I can guarantee you that, because you're doing something wrong. It's sexist because it doesn't understand women. It implies if you're a mother, you have to give up certain things. Yeah. I think honestly, it's probably because Miss Young is only 29. But then again, 29 is when Rachel had her first kid. I was looking at getting married around that age. And you do well. Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, you do give up things. Your life changes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of a good thing and a fantastic thing when you have children. But mothers do have to compromise and make changes. You know, it's not the whole fairy tale. I was reading an article in the Weekend Australian the other day in the magazine section, where an author was writing about how women essentially couldn't have it all. And she'd be interviewing all these successful women they'd be sharing their struggles they'd have with finding a good nanny to take care of the family and how it all fell apart. But then that same woman would be invited to be a speaker in front of a whole, one of these women in construction events or a similar thing, and wouldn't actually share the difficulties or share the truth. It'd just be a facade. It wouldn't be talking about that to reach these levels, you need to make certain sacrifices. You need to not cook for your family anymore. You have people doing that for you, hiring nannies. So I think there's a bit of naivety there. They want a monopoly on infantilizing men and women. I got there eventually. Fight back, have kids. Now, I think well, no, I know that many Western countries currently are not achieving their replacement rates for childbearing. Now, all the hippies and the nihilists will say, oh, fantastic, humanity's like a cancer, which frankly I find offensive and quite just... it shows a lack of understanding of how sophisticated their assessment of the environment now impact on it is. But nonetheless, we need to be having more children. These posters also caused outrage on social media. Mother Samantha Brenneman said, "Because I have kids, am I supposed to not wear heels or have a fulfilling career?" Missed the memo on that one. I wonder if her children actually like her, if they actually see her. Maria Meazi added, "I have a kid, wear heels, lipstick, and play video games." Nicola Wenlock, Director of Sexual Health for the Trust, said, "In creating this particular advertising campaign, Walsall Integrated Sexual Health worked hard to understand the teenage pregnancy audience to make sure that the communication was relevant, effective, and focused." I remember back when I was a teenager and they had all this material for us about sexual health and this stuff, and it just seemed so uncool and just douchey and stupid. I bet you this is how they're seeing that. You know, they think, who uses one? That's the PlayStation 1 controller. Who uses that anymore? "We apologize if this advertisement has raised a concern. The intent was to raise awareness of emergency contraception and advice available to those in this age group who wish to avoid unwanted pregnancies. The campaign has played an important role in tackling teenage pregnancies and poor sexual health in our local area, which has been reducing steadily year on year. So in 98, it was 67.2. In 2016, it's halved. But I wonder if that's because teenagers are having less sex. You know, I wonder if their campaigns, if they're even effective. Have a look at Japan as an example, where people are, an insane number of people are hitting 30, never having sex, being virgins. So I wonder if that's it. Because if you're socializing online or meeting on apps, you know, it's hard to have sex. "We will continue to work closely with all audiences to ensure we offer the best possible services for them, and we'll continue to review all materials closely for future campaigns." Yes, I am waking up. That was a little warning, you didn't see that. The campaign finished on September 2, but had been running previously with feedback from local teens. There were 2 posters in circulation, but the Trust said they didn't refer to gender. Yes. No. Oh, okay. Honestly, there are a lot of females that like gaming, but I would put money on it that most of them are casual gamers, or the mobile games. And it's the same. There are a lot of men that will probably wear lipstick and high heels, and but most of them don't. Most of them don't. So they're gendered to normal people. But we're not living in a normal world. We're living in a post-normal world now. So what did this encourage me to do? Because being a father, when the first time you become a father, it can be quite daunting. Now, when Rachel walked into our bedroom and held a pregnancy test in her hands the first time and said, "Honey, I'm pregnant," I immediately thought, oh no, I need more projects. Where am I going to get this work? We've got these children. They cost so much. They cost so much time. What's going on? I was screaming in my head. And she looked at me. I could tell in her eyes she wanted me to respond. And I thought deeply a romantic phrase and said, "Shit." She left the room and said, no, we're doing this again. We're doing this again. Came back, said, "Honey, I'm pregnant." And I went, "Fantastic." Shit, I need more projects. So it's quite daunting to you when, particularly as a young man, although I wasn't that young, having their first child. But once you have them and you see how awesome they are and how much fun they are to have around, it isn't that bad. Speaking of a father of 4 with 3 here and 1 about to arrive, they're a lot of fun. So I thought, as a counter to this message that's being sent out to young men. And you've got this message coming, you get all these other, terrified about having kids. You've got the whole MGTOW push with all the danger that women have in our current society because of the inequality with regards to our legal system and the fact that they can pretty much take your children off you. All that, although the courts are starting to become, hopefully, from what I've heard and read, bias or less bias towards gender. But we'll see. It's still a risk. And they'll step out and they'll go monk mode and they won't have any kids. I think we need to, those of us who are fathers, who have families, who have normal wives, happy families, need to start showing and sharing that, life still goes on, life is normal, life is awesome. And as part of that, in my little effort, I wanted to create the play with them, the little hashtag, and I've created a Twitch account. Now, I have not bothered with Twitch ever until yesterday, just because I follow some YouTubers on YouTube. The Mighty Jingles. I'll watch all his episodes, and a few other gamers or game reviewers. I remember back in the day when there was Company of Heroes online, and I got into that, and I was watching all the Let's Plays, the replays, the commentaries on YouTube. If I had gone that bit further, I may have gone to Twitch. So I've set up a Twitch. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to create to share the Mina and Daddy series of playing, or just when we play games together with people, just for a bit of fun. So you'll see here, I've got all my streams up. We're up to episode 3 now, where Mina and I are playing FTL. And actually, that's one, I lie, something does change with regards to playing games. When you're a dad, you need to be able to play games that are age appropriate, that aren't going to terrify your kids. Because when Mina was first born, I think she was 2 years old, and I got an Xbox One, and I got The Witcher 3. Now, The Witcher 3, it's quite a beautiful game, but it can also be a terrifying game. And you can't play that in front of children. That's where you need your own study or a space where you can go away from the kids to play it. You can't play that in front of kids. So I have to, find games that I can play with my children. So, we're streaming FTL, World of Warships. It's just pretty much me. Sidmir's Colonization, that's an old game that I'm sharing with her. And I think I'll get more of these old games to share with my children that I grew up with. Also, No Man's Sky, she loves that, and it's interesting that she's coming out with, carbon, like carbon dioxide. So yeah, guys, I'll put a link to this in the description below. Please, I think you follow on Twitch. You can tell how new I am to it. If you're a gamer and enjoy Twitch, please follow, have a look, like, share, and subscribe with this video. But guys, let me know in the comments. Are you playing games with your kids as well? Do they enjoy watching, partaking, and answering questions? Because let's hashtag play with them. Let's put a counter message to this rubbish that's coming out. So guys, thank you all very much for joining me for this episode. And please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.